for Newcastle.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker. I rise today to pay tribute to Andrea Lloyd, or Ange, whose death in July 2017 saddened so many people in my community of Newcastle. Ange was a remarkable character, talented, eccentric, compassionate and always courageous. Born David Andrew Lloyd in Wales in 1947, he migrated as a young child to Australia. He grew up and went to school in Newcastle and married Vicky, his high school sweetheart. At the same time, he was developing his skills as a musical instrument maker and as a talented performer in the folk rock and jug band groups that were so prominent in the grassroots political life of the late 60s and 70s. He was always there in support of a good cause, to raise profile or to raise funds, mending old instruments and giving them away to people who would use them. After the birth of his two daughters, Claire and Briellen, Andrew went to university to do a degree in engineering and subsequently went to work at RZM as an environmental engineer, specialising in the restoration of coastal sand dunes. It was during this period that Andrew came out to his friends as a transgender female, and in the 80s, for a middle-class professional, that was a very hard thing to do. He moved to BHP, working in occupational health and safety, and became Andrea, accomplishing a social transformation in a very difficult environment. Andrea developed extensive connections in the transgender community, working with and advocating on behalf of people whose social disadvantage was complex and entrenched. She gained a qualification in counselling and became a volunteer worker for ACON. It was how much of herself she was prepared to give that made her so unusual, the depth and sincerity of her commitment. In 1998, she underwent gender reassignment surgery and legally became Andrea Lloyd. Everyone who knew her learned a lot from that experience. She was undaunted by heart surgery following a diagnosis of leukaemia, and in 2019 re-enrolled at TAFE, renewing and extending her considerable fabrication skills in the Diploma of Fine Arts course. When the O'Farrell government in late 2012 stripped funding from TAFE Fine Arts schools, she was there and became an active part of the community revolt that resulted in swift electoral changes. She joined the ALP and became a member of the Mayfield Branch, keenly supporting social justice issues at the local level, opposing policies of deregulation and privatisation wherever possible, and always adding unexpected insights into the debate. She never stopped giving pleasure to other people through her music, through her craftsmanship, through her wit and good humour, through the gift of her time and patience. Her extraordinary generosity to her fellow human beings never wavered. We cannot afford to lose such a person, but we have. Vale Andrea Lloyd, I pay tribute to you and your family.